Hello, welcome to this first video in a series of videos where I am going to be teaching you how to energy check. And I'm so excited to be here with my dear friend Lorelei, who's going to come over, and we're in her beautiful office. And so Lorelei, I've been so excited about this moment. We've been talking about it for a while.
Thank you for having me. It's really an honor to be doing this here
Yeah.
in this space.
Yeah. And so I wanted to take this opportunity to teach you how to energy check, and while we're doing it, recording this video so other people can have a visual. Since I work with so many people over the phone, sometimes it's really helpful just to have a visual about what I'm talking about.
Good.
So this is something, so I call it energy checking. And this is a way of essentially having a dialogue with love. Love is what blossoms and grows all of us. Flowers, trees, and beings. It's tapping into what is love telling us in this moment that is going to assist our growth. And we have intuitive knowings of love. We all have these. Energy checking is a way of getting very tangible. So it's a way of, it's almost like training wheels for energy reading. So we have a tangible reference to ask questions, get answers from those questions, and if there's any fuzziness or unclarity or doubt, it just means that we are to go deeper with our questions. So, the first part of this, and there's going to be a number of different factors that are key to this whole process of energy checking. First, it's really about trusting the tool. So I'm going to teach you 3 different ways to energy check. And like any practice, it requires practice. You know, it's gaining trust of this tool. So we're going to start very basic, using this tool to answer questions that our mind already knows the answer to, because then we can kind of correlate. It's like, my mind knows the answer, my body is telling me this answer, I can trust it. And as we gain trust, then we go to those questions that are more unknown. So that is the first step. In other videos, I'll go and teach about these other aspects of refining the question, because once you have trust in the tool, it's really about the questions that you're asking and how we refine that process of asking questions. And what is holding the questions is our whole framework, our whole understanding of life. So we're moving from one that is very punitive, where we're always showing up as not enough or short, or we've done it wrong, or we've made mistakes, and we're moving into this paradigm where we understand that we are loved, that we are being held, and we learn to have the same kind of compassion that we are so able to show other people. We have that for ourselves. And we know that the universe is holding us in that kind of loving embrace, just encouraging us on to our next piece of learning.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's developing, it's not only refining the questions of what we energy check, but it's coming from this framework of we are loved and we are held and we are being encouraged to the next step. And in this process, there's also dissolving all of those beliefs, those thoughts that prevent us from having that worldview, that maybe keep us from asking some questions. So the dissolving of painful beliefs is another component. So these are all the different ways that we are refining our skill to energy check with confidence, with clarity, and start having this dialogue with love that is, I mean, it's mind-blowing. It's just mind-blowing.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so the first thing, I'm actually gonna have you stand up. We're both gonna stand up. I think both of our heads are still in the picture. And the first thing that we're going to do, and we can even kind of face this way, is, so imagine your legs are firmly planted into the ground. And firmly planted in the ground, there's this way that like you could sort of fall forward, you could kind of go backwards. If we kind of are imagining that, I mean, love what you were saying earlier, the universe speaks to us. There are signs everywhere. If we are just open to seeing them and understanding the message that they have for us. But I believe everything can be used as a tool to understand these signs or to get clarity. So what we're saying right now is, I would like to use my body in this way of being rooted to the earth and being either attracted forward or kind of pushed back, like of these two possibilities. And we're gonna check too to see which, like how your body is interpreting these movements of going forward and going backward. So what I say is, I say, show me, and we're speaking to the universe, we're speaking to spirit, we're speaking to whatever fits within your understanding of spirituality, whether that is God, goddess, particular teachers that are close to your heart. Energy speaks in the language of the familiar. So I'm going to ask energy, I'm going to say, show me what is 100% yes. So of whatever I am asking, I want an experience of knowing how my body is going to show me what 100% yes is. And I like to just put my hands on my heart. Say, so show me 100% yes. And for me, you can see that there's like this attraction forward. It's very clear. Then I say, show me 100% no. And for me, that is almost like being pushed back. I think of it as like kind of being repulsed from something. But that can be reversed for you. So give that a try right now with your feet rooted into the earth and asking this either out loud or to yourself, saying, show me 100% yes. Yeah, and all the while just keep those deep breaths going. And you don't need to lock your knees. You can keep them, straight but not locked.
So I get a feeling that I just feel expansive
Uh-huh.
with it.
Uh-huh.
Almost like I want to put my arms out.
Yeah, nice.
So I feel expansion.
Awesome.
And open.
Awesome. And even with that, I see a little bit of that, like, that forward motion. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so now check what your body tells you is 100% no. See what that's like. And again, take a moment to do this for yourself, standing up and seeing what that's like for you.
Show me what is 100% no. And I feel that pulling in and pushing back. Very similar. Only like this definite contraction inside.
Exactly. So you're going to find that that there's a correspondence to what is happening within your body, and you may or may not, again, it's different for everyone, you may feel, and as you practice with it more, may feel that kind of like leaning toward or falling back. But regardless, I loved what you talked about, that expansion, that yes is this expansive feeling, and the no is more of a contraction. So beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is that is one way of just getting these yeses and nos. So we can practice with this, something that is known to your mind that you can check with your body. It can be simple as I see a reddish pinkish exercise ball in the corner. You could even say something as simple as that exercise ball is red, like something as simple as that.
Okay.
And again, so the way that I said it in a statement. So rather than a question, I'm saying it as a statement, but we're getting a response of, is that statement true? Is that statement false? Like within my own truth in this moment, am I seeing that as a red exercise ball?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And so for me, what I'm seeing right now,
Yeah.
and so to check in with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm seeing right now, I am seeing a wind chime in the courtyard. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you kind of had that experience of like, oh yes, the obvious. Like, yes, that is true.
Right.
That is true. Awesome. So then, checking on something that we just know is not true. There's one standard thing that I often use. It's kind of gross, but unless you're really struggling with this particular issue, this is generally a healthy body does not like this. Saying, I love to vomit. It's like everything within a healthy body is like, no, I don't. So when I say that, I love to vomit, I mean, I'm almost being thrown backwards. You can use that, or you can use something that you absolutely know is not true for you, or not true in the room, even.
Okay. So the first thing that comes to me is an Ayurvedic thing, and I would say jicama is balancing to vata.
Yeah.
Because it's drying.
Interesting.
So I'm just like,
It's like, no. Awesome. Okay, so this first step, we've used this as a way of just confirming that what we're feeling in our body matches things that we rationally know to be true. So this is a way to gain trust that this body is speaking to us. These feelings within our body, it is a conduit for really truth. It is like I don't even have the words for it. It's just it's guiding us. We can trust this to guide us. So here, we can take a seat here too. So for me, I started out learning yes and no in this way of standing up because it felt very definitive to me. But you're not always going to have the energy to stand up. You're not always going to be in a place where you can stand up. So another way to energy check is if you take your middle finger and your thumb and you create 2 circles, and then, yes, interlock those circles. Okay. So, again, and this can be reversed and switched for different people. When I say, show me 100% yes, while I'm pulling the circles apart, for me there's a holding. I'm not muscling it, I'm not like doing it with all of my might, but I can just feel, show me 100% yes, there's a holding together. Are you finding that to be?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So then I say, show me 100% no. For me, there's a loosening. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is another way, like say, if you're sitting, you don't want to stand, that you can energy check. What is a yes and what is a no? Mm-hmm. By doing this. So one that I just love to kind of like a baseline, I just say, in this moment, am I absolutely loved by God? Yeah, and it's almost like I feel it in my hands, and there's like a shoot of knowing down my body. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh. And sometimes when I'm just in a downward spiral, or just like, oh, sometimes I'll just check that. Like, in this moment, am I loved? In this moment, I am loved. Oh. Yeah, and it's like this information that kind of gets in the back door.
And is it Are you presenting it as a statement or a question, or either?
Honestly, I do it both ways. I had one teacher who taught me in energy checking and in muscle testing to create it as a statement, and then you're checking the validity of that statement.
Okay.
But honestly, when I'm having a conversation, they're actually stated in these questions.
Okay.
Yeah. So play with that and see what what works for you.
Alright.
And then one other tool that I'm going to show you is this way. So the middle finger here, putting that on your thumb. I go pretty far back on my thumb. You can also go kind of closer in, but finding a place, and this is probably not going to feel super comfortable. It took me a long time to build the muscles to have this be comfortable. But basically, this is your middle finger is like at a 90-degree table leg. And for me, I say, show me 100% yes, there's a buckling out. Show me 100% no, it stays kind of in that locked position. This took me a while to get. So I really recommend that you start with the falling forward, the falling back, and the interlocking circles. But what this is very helpful for is checking a number of things. So I can say, sometimes when I'm at Meijer and like I wasn't feeling well the other day, and I was in, a section for like cold and flu stuff, and I was just like, is there something here that I need? And I would just zoom along, and then it's like ding right there. It was like ding, and then I was like, oh, and then I can engage my rational mind and say, oh, that is what I'm needing. Oh, I didn't realize I needed that. So so rather than like, do I need this? Do I need this? Do I need this? Do I need this? This, you can just zoom, bing, oh, okay, that. So you can also use it, I use that a lot if I'm trying to get a word to describe something that I'm facing. Like what is something that describes that? I can just go through the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, ding, okay, and I literally spell it out and then get a word that then helps me have better clarity about the situation that I'm going through.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, I know.
How
I know.
creative.
Yeah. So it's just amazing to have this tool to interpret some of these very specific messages that love has for us. And what I have learned is that there's nothing too small to ask, there's nothing too big to ask. The universe wants us to have clarity. The yearning for us to have clarity. So the more we ask, the more we are living in this place of really trusting, because that's what we're gaining clarity on, the fact that we are loved and we are held. We just haven't caught up to reality yet.
And if we have a question inside us and we don't ask, it's not going to be answered, right?
Well, yeah, no, that's true. I think sometimes, there's unconscious ways that we are asking the questions, but then also the answers come in kind of unconscious ways, I think, and it takes us longer to put it together. So we can really have the direct conversations.
So it helps to have this agreement, like, I'm going to have this agreement with myself to ask these questions.
Yes. Absolutely. So from here, I would encourage, for the first level of practice, to just play with these tools. Start on that basic level, really for the first week. That plant is green. Yes, it is. That plant is green. Yes, it is. There is a purple elephant in the room right now. No, there's not. There's not. And so just getting that felt sense of what yes and no feels like through these tools.
Right, is this a wise food choice for me at this time?
Yes, and you can absolutely start to ask those things if your mind knows, right? So that, there's some there's degrees of asking those questions, you know? It's like, should I eat this entire bag of Twizzlers? Oh no. Okay, like my mind knows that. There's like
Yeah.
refined questions too that you may not. So I would stick to like those obvious ones,
Gotcha.
you know?
Mhm.
You know, can I sit down to a, 2 pints of ice cream in this spoon right now? Is that, But the thing that's amazing is that in my questioning, as I trust this tool, surprising answers come. Really surprising answers come. So, sometimes it's been like, can I have ice cream now? The mind is like, no, that's not a good food choice. But energy says yes. And it's a little amount. And it's because that's how I'm understanding love in this moment.
Interesting.
So how our minds can get very rigid with things. This is my regimen, I am sticking to it, I know what's good, I know what's bad.
Yep.
Love is gonna soften that for us.
Okay. All right. And so this level is about developing that agreement and that conversation within, so that when it's time to ask questions that are not obvious,
Yes,
we have kind of a barometer for it.
exactly. So we'll move from there.
Great.
So yeah, this concludes
Thanks.
our first lesson. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I love it.
Yay! Awesome. Well, thanks everyone, and I'll be checking in with you to hear how this first level of practicing is going for you. All right, take care.